All right. So I'll start with a story. So this is from my school. I used to go to a school in Karnal, as I've also shared in my previous episodes. And I met a girl there, younger than me, and a very lovable person. We used to hear her name every day in our morning assemblies, doing something or the other, achieving an award, and the school used to be very, very proud. Every morning we used to hear, this person has achieved a prize or a trophy or a medal in swimming or cycling or skating, something or the other. She, as a person, used to be lovable, as I said. She was among like really countable juniors that I used to speak to or I was connected to, and I still am. And I'm very proud of that. If you meet her in person, or even if you listen to her now, you won't feel that she's achieved so much. She's so humble. She is very much curious about things, and she's a multitasker or multi-talented, I'd say. She has interest in something, she's trained in another thing, and she studies another thing, and she has plans of a different thing, trying to balance a lot of things together. Um, I am talking about Rachita Juneja, our next guest for Perspectives. She is a champion in roller skating. She is an Asian silver medalist, and a national gold medalist in road cycling. And currently, she's pursuing masters in history from Delhi University. She also did her bachelor's from there, and she's a content writer, and she is very passionate about nutrition and sustainability, and she hopes to do something in that field in the future. Rest we'll hear from the person itself. Hi, Rachita, and
Hi,
welcome
Didi.
to Perspectives with Sanjoli, episode 5. We are so glad to have you. So, what's my funda of inviting guests is I don't invite people who are already known, or they're already highlighted by media in a certain manner, or they've already achieved a lot, because for them there are already people. We invite people who are going, who are like their process in making. So we know that there is a leader, but they're in making, and we want to tap them there, and then later say, see, we showed you this person in the episode, and they are here today. And I am very sure that you are going to be at great heights. So I thought, before you're busy and before you get entangled with other occupations, I want to have your time and listen to you. So thank you for taking out your time, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's my honor, and I think I'm lucky to be talking with you and be your guest today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's really nice of you, Rachita. We'll start from you. As in, what are you doing? So we'll talk about your current occupation. What's keeping you busy? Where are you based? And whatever you're doing, are you enjoying it?
Yeah, so currently I'm actually living in Delhi and I'm studying masters in history as you mentioned,
Right.
and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I am having a time of my life, to be honest, because
Great.
I think I have found my interest to be in studies, and you know how I want to use it further and
Right.
uh, imply it in everything possible. And I'm happy. I'm really happy.
This is so good to hear. And this is one common thing, that we've had these guests in previous episodes as well, who are very happy doing what they're doing. And I think I've been able to tap those few people who are happy doing what they're doing, because most of the people I meet are doing it because, the society demands them to do that, or it was planned in a certain manner. So they're just following their structure. But guests here, they're just so happy, bright, and they're enjoying. So I'm so happy to hear that you're enjoying that. But for some of our listeners, it might be a little ironical or paradoxical to hear that you're studying history and you're enjoying it. Would you like to talk about the how history remains defamed, that in the classes people go to sleep, and it's all about memorizing dates and rulers and all of that? what do you think, because you're studying history and you're doing an entire master's on it? So how do you see history, and how, if you had to convince other people, how would you introduce them or make it attractive?
So I still remember, when I was in 10th standard, as you know, when, I was at the edge of deciding what I want to do. To be
Right.
honest, I was really good at cramming,
Okay.
and I'm not ashamed of that. I
Mhm.
was really, really good at cramming. So I took social science because I was good at it, maybe because I was also good at cramming. But when I passed 12th standard and when I started my graduation, I became pretty sure that history is not about cramming. History is more about critically analyzing a particular situation or
Hmm.
problem. And if in a layman language I want to maybe, explain what is history to me, for me, history has been, that fictional world which is sometimes not explored by us, but it has
Okay.
already been done. Like we are not sure that if that particular thing happened in reality or not,
All
but
right.
we have like different remains of it. But at the same
Mhm.
point of time, it's on our own that what we want to view that particular remain, or if we want to accept that particular situation or not. We
Right.
have that capability and right to criticize a particular person or a particular situation, that
Right.
no, it didn't happen because of that, but it happened because of that. We can always, we're always welcome to put on new theories to anything, like any situation, politics, even psychology, even science, or our past. To be honest,
Hmm.
we all know that something happened in past and we were not there to experience it, but we are studying it and we are actually giving our own point of view, our own edge to it, that oh, maybe this would have happened because of this. So yeah,
Okay.
history is that for me. Like
That's
it's all about exploring and it's more about fantasizing too and exploring, like how things would have worked at that particular point of time, and
right.
maybe sometimes taking some things or taking inspiration from different people and how they did it. So
That definitely should convince a lot of people,
yeah.
about studying history. And it was a very unique kind of explanation or description about history that we generally don't get to hear, and we can only hear from a history student themselves. So thank
Right.
you for sharing that. And I was also, I mean, I was a bit lost somewhere. I've never seen history through that lens.
Like that.
So
Right.
yeah, very, very interesting. I mean, I've enjoyed studying history myself, but never got too deep into it. So yes, but history does become a part of social science, very important, actually, in a lot of subjects. So I was a student of international relations and security. So even in that, we had to study a part of history. We had to study, how nations and states came into being, and how we've had certain conflicts, why we've had. So history becomes an important part. And with liberal education coming in, especially in India now, with a lot of universities and think tanks coming up, history has become an important part of liberal education as well. So I've heard, Ashoka University offers courses on Kabira, and courses on history and art appreciation. So a person generally wouldn't think, that these subjects can be studied, but very cool. But now this drives me to asking you, we mentioned in your introduction that you have been a sports person. I know you have been very ardent in sports. How did a sports person land up in history or social science? And what's your current status with sports? Are you still pursuing it, or did you take a break? Take us through that. And also, how did you start your journey with sports? So all of that together, please.
Okay, so first of all, as a sports student, I was really good at science, English, and social science.
Right.
So I was always confused between, what to take, like science or social science.
Okay.
But you know that with skating, to be like, I never wanted to quit skating, and I
Mhm.
never wanted, to be not performing well in studies.
Right.
So at that point of time, I think it was really important for me to kind of equalize both the things.
Mm.
And I think I also wanted to explore more.
Mm.
Maybe because of that, I went through humanities or
Okay.
arts.
Okay.
I went for that. And then you asked me about what's my current status. So currently, I'm actually practicing. Like, I haven't left, though. I actually took a break of 2 years. I haven't participated in nationals,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, but I think I will be participating this year in
Hmm.
skating as well as in cycling for sure.
Wow. We are
But I
looking forward to
participated.
that. Sounds very
Thank
exciting.
you.
I mean, I can't wait to see you in championships. So, wow. Yeah.
I don't think I would be leaving sports soon enough. That's for
Okay.
sure. Because I
We
think I
don't
have,
want you to leave sports. We don't want you.
I think I have some ambitions and
Right.
goals, and
Mm.
I'm actually at my peak level at this point of time
Yeah.
because, from 20 to 28 years or 30 years,
Mm.
people actually think that, your peak is at your teenage years, but
Mm.
it's wrong.
Oh,
Your peak is actually from 20 to 30 or sometimes to 35.
oh,
It
okay.
depends upon the sports also, and how much you are doing it and how much you're building your strength.
Right.
So I have, like, I don't think so I'm ever gonna leave skating, or sorry, leave any of the sports that I'm doing as well as studies. So yeah.
But it
I'm
requires,
gonna manage.
yeah, I was about to say exactly that. It requires a certain sense of balance to be able to pursue this and that, your academics, your personal life, your sports. Also, especially at this point of time when you're doing a master. So, a school still could be managed, but it's a little difficult. But hats off to you. And I have special respect for people who pursue sports because I could never do that. I mean, if I share my story, I think you know this. I have been into basketball. I left that. I have tried swimming a bit, left that. I have tried cycling casually. Skating, I was put by my mother into skating. I did it for a
Mhm.
year. I think like normal casual skating, never in competitions. I've tried shooting. So I loved shooting though. Air pistol and something is, yeah, I enjoyed that, but again, never pursued. So I have respect for people who actually stick to sports and do that and like reach a certain level. So it's amazing. So Rachita, how was your break? You said you didn't, you took a 2 year break from sports.
Ah.
How was it? Did you feel like did you feel restless that, I want to get back? Or was it an important break? You wanted to work on yourself, your health or something? How was it?
So to be honest, it was a roller coaster ride for me.
Or is it?
First, like, yeah, in early 2020s, like 2019 was my last nationals. I performed really well. And then I early 2020s, I was happy that, I actually planned it in 2019 that I'm gonna take a break of 1 year.
Okay.
2020 is gonna, because that was very important year for me because I was graduating and I was also preparing for the entrances of my masters.
Right, right.
So we already knew that it's going to be a really busy year, and
Mm.
we just like felt that we're going to give it, like, we're going to take skating lightly, and we're also going to start cycling again, and then we're going to see how everything works.
Mm.
But then COVID came, and at starting I was happy, and I was okay that I'm studying, though I was doing physical activity. It's like there's no day when you cannot do physical activity, like especially for me, because I just feel that I haven't done something.
Oh,
Something is missing.
yeah.
So yeah, so it's like that. So I was okay, but then I think at the end of 2020 and at the early of 2021, I started feeling really weird and worried because I just felt, I just actually felt the lack of ambition, to be honest, and lack of everything. I was always so much busy in achieving everything that
Mm.
it just suddenly stopped. And there
Mm.
was no one around me. And I just felt a little weird, though I was really proud. It's not that, I wasn't proud of my achievements and everything, but I started questioning myself at some point of time that,
Mm.
what I want to do more, or, what I want to be, that I would be really proud of,
Mm.
because everyone feels that there should be no regrets, and I felt that maybe I would have reached it sometime. But
Mm.
I think after a few months, I analyzed myself and I realized that it's really important, to experience these feelings.
Mm.
Because at some point of time you will realize that it was nothing but a sort of insecurity, and I overcame it, and I'm okay now because I know that what I want to do. I was, a bit in that confusion that, I wasn't like very much clear that if I want to continue skating or not, or if I want to continue some other thing or not, or what I want to do after completing my master's in history.
Mm.
So I took my time, I realized my strengths, and
Mm.
what all I can do and what all I can give back to society. So that's how I started, building my ideas and everything. So yeah,
Ah.
now I'm okay. Now I'm happy.
That's good. That shows that that was a necessary break. You needed it,
Right,
and that
right.
helped you grow. Since you said you overcame your certain fears or insecurities, or you also got to work on yourself. So very interesting. And even in the previous episode, we got to talk to our guest who also spoke about mental health, and how she happened to decline Cornell because she wanted to take time for herself and slow down. So it's very interesting that this generation is understanding. They are able to prioritize, take time out, take break from, like as you said, you have been at top, national championships, Asian championship, not an easy job, but still you took time off. You could have done a few more championships maybe during that time, but you still took time off. So very, very interesting. I'm sure it's a great learning for the audience as well. So Rachita, one thing, because we're talking about sports and you have been into sports very actively, I wanted to understand, have you ever experienced performance anxiety or performance pressure? Because recently we've heard of cases where very young sports persons have unfortunately died by suicide. So because they were going through performance pressure. So what do you have to say about this? Also, because if any sports person is listening to this episode, how do you see this?
Well, I face performance pressure right before any race or any competition,
Mm.
because till you don't run a race, you don't know where you are standing.
Mm.
So you have that anxiety that if I'm gonna win today or if I'm gonna lose today.
Mm.
But I've always, actually, it depends upon whom you are surrounding yourself with, to be honest.
Okay.
It depends upon if people are questioning you, and or if people are questioning your performance, or
Mm.
if people are actually saying that it's okay if you lose, nothing matters. At last, it's your capability, and it's okay to lose, because the next time when we go again, we'll improve on the mistakes that we did, and then we'll be really good and we'll win. So it depends upon who are the people backing you.
Mm.
Like for me, it's always been my parents and my coaches, and I have been really lucky because my parents have never pressurized me, and they have never even scolded me for losing a race. I have seen a lot of parents doing that, like
Mm.
a lot of. But it's not a child's fault, because you perform differently at different days,
Mm.
depending upon your physical and mental situation.
Right.
Yeah. So if you actually see, I have performance fear, but I also know inside me that even if I lose, I have nothing to lose. Like, it's okay. It's just a race.
Mm.
I will, after the race, I'll just sit down and, kind of like check upon myself that what were the things that I did wrong, and how can I improve them for the next race or for the next season. I'm going to work upon those things next season, because my coaches are with me, my parents are with me to always be there.
Mm.
So, that's the main kind of a scenario there. Because we look at people, and, there are a lot of people who say, oh, you are nowhere to stand. There are
Mm.
a lot of people who will be saying, oh, you are amazing, you're going to come first. So there is a difference, between the confidence and how, you are surrounding yourself, with whom you are surrounding yourself, and what you are listening and what you're not listening. So yeah,
Totally makes
self-esteem.
sense. Yes, yes, absolutely. A very valid point, actually. I mean, the way you said who's backing you matters a lot. And I know I've seen you, I've seen your parents. You indeed are very lucky, and I hope and I wish that every parent, especially parents of girl children, of daughters, they support their kids as we have been lucky. My parents and Rachita's parents, they have never clipped our wings. They've given us the best education. They have made sacrifices. They don't like this word, is like, at least my parents don't like the word sacrifices. They say, they love doing it for their kid, but we have been very lucky. Not every parent goes to that extent, but it
Right.
always shows in the kid, in their personalities, in their accomplishments, whatever parents have done. So Rachita, if she's reached this peak, it is because there was someone with her, and someone groomed her in a
Absolutely.
certain manner. So she,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Sorry.
you agree? So
I agree because there's only one winner,
yeah,
and not everyone comes first. But
right.
there are always psychologically implemented things that move you towards your goal, and it's very important. Like what are you surrounding yourself with? To be
Yeah,
honest, like
right.
it's the goal for
Hmm,
your mental health as well as your physical health.
right.
If people are not appreciating you, you won't feel acknowledged.
Hmm,
But if people are backing you up and saying you that it's okay to not be always first, and it's okay to lose, because you're going to learn and you're going to perform one day.
yeah, yeah.
That's definitely going to come, because if you keep on pursuing your passion, if you keep on practicing, one day nothing can stop you.
That's a beautiful, optimistic thought, and absolutely. I mean, the level of maturity that we are hearing you, and I'm enjoying it so much. I'm sure the audience surely will when they listen to it. The maturity, the level of maturity you have, sensibility. This shows that you are a seasoned person and you have been raised right. And from
Thank
that,
you.
we will no, really. And from that, we want to hear about your childhood briefly.
uh,
How was your childhood? What, like, anything about your school or personal life, and how did that, transitioning to adulting, how has that been growing up? So please take us through that briefly. Would love to know.
yeah, I'm also going to answer your previous question of how I started skating during
Oh
my
yes,
childhood.
please do
Yeah.
cover that too.
So my childhood has been really dreamy, to be honest,
Okay.
because I was a single child and
Right.
I have been pampered a lot.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
a lot of a lot of my friends actually tell me that when they were kids, they used to ask their parents for particular presents.
Right.
For me, it was the opposite. For me,
Oh.
it was like before I could ask, I already, used to get the
My
things.
God, I am envious now because I have a sibling and like it's so different with that. So, oh, very
Right. It's
interesting.
it's it's actually different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think I sometimes feel that I was too much invested in sports and skating, that I loved all the toys, but I was not that much into them, to be honest.
Oh,
I
okay.
used to get a lot of them,
Hmm.
and like I still remember, I never wished for things that my parents used to give me, like a lot of dresses, and like I'm actually groomed to be like smart, but at the same point, I think I'm really innocent and naive even now.
Hmm. And I love
But
that about you. So be proud of that. Yes.
yeah, yeah. It's really important to have that side to you. It's
Right.
really important.
Yes.
So when I was 4.5, I still remember that day clearly.
Okay.
I was in UKG or
Okay.
LKG, and we were sitting. There was an assembly going on in our school,
Right.
and some of my classmates were actually performing
Okay.
with skates. With like I think they were actually performing artistic skating,
Okay.
and I was just in so much awe of them that I went back home. I told my mom, the mom, I want skates and I want to do skating. And my mom, being my mom, bought the skates that day. And the next day, I was on the track. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was on the track training. I started training. And at that point of time, no one knew that I would be continuing skating for so long.
Right.
And I think my parents were really happy that I took the initiative. Like, I told them that I want to do this particular thing, and they were like, okay, she wants it. Let's just, go with it. And, whatever she wants, we'll do it.
Mm.
I used to do a lot of things with that. Like, I used to go for the training of classical dance, classical singing. Then I also, went for swimming, that.
Yes.
And then I also started cycling. Cycling was like very, like when I was in ninth or 10th standard.
Okay.
But, I still enjoyed skating because I think skating was a thing that I chose for myself.
Right. Right.
There's always one thing. So skating was always at the back of my mind. And whenever I skate, I just feel myself. Like, there's always something that you do, you feel really happy and satisfied that you're doing it for yourself and for your own happiness.
Mm.
So I have been like that. I actually started with a lot of my friends, but it
Okay.
was only me who continued.
Mm.
Everyone left before graduating from school.
Oh. Oh.
Everyone
Okay.
left before like, so yeah, that actually makes sense to me because I was the one who actually became so passionate about it that I was in awe of skating. So about studies, I was a very chill child in studies, like till fourth or fifth standard.
Okay.
I just knew that okay, I have to study this. I have to perform really well at school.
Right.
There was no competition, nothing. Enjoy. And my parents never said me anything. I was doing well. I was doing okay. I was
Oh.
not. I think I was not that good, but I was not that bad also. But
Right.
I started improving. I think
Mhm.
I took a good leap after ninth standard.
Okay.
Like till ninth, I used to be in top 10 or top 7, but after ninth, I think I started coming in top 3 and top 4.
Pretty similar
And
with me.
I yeah. And because of that, I became more competitive.
Oh.
For me, it happened. Like, I wasn't, I was more very much focused in skating and performing in skating, but I
Okay.
wasn't so much focused, performing very well in studies. But,
Okay.
after that happened, I just felt, oh, I can do really good at studies. So I, so, that actually eventually led me to becoming very, very competitive and very ambitious.
Okay.
I wasn't like that from the start. I was like really chill. It was
Hmm.
just skating for me.
Hmm.
But eventually, studies started happening. And I think 11th and 12th standard was like, my base
Hmm.
for like, gaining a lot of confidence that I can actually come first.
Right.
Like, for me, it was a big thing, to be honest.
Self-esteem boost, of course. Yeah.
Right, right. You actually gain a lot of confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That yeah. So and after that, when I was in Hans Raj, like we were a batch of 70 kids,
Okay.
and all these 70 kids were at same level, and there was like the competition rose from like 30-40% to 90%, and like
Right.
everyone was so active
Yeah.
as well as interactive, and everyone was like grabbing their chance. Okay, I am the best. I have to do that. And in college, it's not only about how much grades you are getting, it's also about
Yeah.
how you present yourself.
Right.
It's
Right.
like really important in college. And I
Very
think college, like going to Delhi University, actually made me really fearless
much.
and determined that if I want to achieve anything, I can, like, because I am a human being like any other.
Hmm.
And if anyone else can, I can also do the same thing. It's just the hard work that you have to do, and you have to be very consistent.
Right.
It's not like you make a goal and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and it's not like you continue this for a month and then you say, oh, nothing is happening. It's not like that. You need a lot of patience.
Yes.
You need a lot of consistency that yes, you have to do it and you can do it, and eventually it will mold into a good result. That's what is really similar in sports and studies, that
Hmm.
if you work hard and if you're consistent and if you believe that you can do it, you will do it.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Very
And
interesting.
then after graduation, like I think I was very sure that I want to do masters in history, and I think that eventually led me to my extreme interest in gender studies, and then sustainability came along, then nutrition has been something like it has been really important part of me because of sports.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and with sports, when I was young, I actually had a problem of tonsillitis.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so I think my mom has been, all has always been really cautious of what should I intake, because I was literally allergic to soft drinks. In my childhood, you will be astonished to know that I have had Coca-Cola, like maybe for 1 or 2 times. And I still remember after sixth standard, I have never had any soft drinks except Limca maybe once or twice. Like it has been like that. And I'm
Wow.
really grateful, because at that point of time, I sometimes used to feel bad,
Hmm.
but I have, I have grown, I have understood, that I know that these things are not made for my body and it's okay.
Hmm.
And, eventually when you grow up, you develop tastes for certain things. And I
Right.
have developed taste for healthier food than junk food. And I'm really proud of that.
That definitely is an accomplishment. I mean, it's a goal for a lot of us still.
Absolutely.
So we're still working towards that. I mean, yes, with time of late, even whenever I look at certain artificial or non-nutritious food, for instance, cakes or like very sweet desserts or certain things, or say honey chili potato for that matter, it has zero nutrition. So whenever I look at it, it just looks unattractive to me. I don't feel drawn, I don't feel like, okay, this is something I have to eat or I'll enjoy it. So this is a change that has happened of late, and I'm like, it's something that's happening naturally, and I'm very happy about it. I mean, whenever I see veggies or I see fruits or these kind of natural things, I just feel like, okay, I have to eat it. But of course, I won't deny I'm not perfect. I still have these cravings for like crazy stuff, and like so I do that. But yes,
That's
overall,
amazing.
I mean, even a lot of us, I think today we have that awareness, and a lot of us are working towards it. I mean, not to resist, not to force yourself, but just
Huh.
naturally develop that understanding that, okay, this is good in a certain limit and I don't have to consume that. And the other interesting thing that you spoke about was, that's very like I could resonate here. I haven't had soft drinks myself, and I was like, wow, this is another common thing between us. And it's very interesting because our parents also, they kept us away from soft drinks. I've never tasted what you said, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, every Fanta, whatever. And I've had a few soft drinks because we used to go to certain people's place, so they would offer, they would force you. So had
Right.
like these juice and all of that, but never liked
That's a,
it.
that's the whole different debate that should happen in our country.
Being forced to consume a certain type of food to please others, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's what. But
Brings me
now
back.
there are so many alternatives. Like there
Yeah.
are so many healthy alternatives because if you try, you will actually discover your creative side in food. I have discovered that. I was
Hmm.
never, I never used to cook anything, but after coming to Delhi and like have actually experimented a lot.
Okay.
And with that, I have actually realized that there are so many alternatives to so many good things. Like if you were
Mhm.
saying, cake,
Hmm.
you can actually make an amazing cake without all-purpose flour or even wheat flour.
Yeah. Oh.
I'll help you.
Please do that. Please do that. I need that recipe because I have a major sweet tooth.
Definitely.
I love desserts.
I also have same.
Yeah, you too.
I love
And
sweets.
exactly. But most of the sweets, like a desi mithai in India, or even the Western
Ah,
things that now that are coming in, say pancakes or waffles, they're all made with maida, like all-purpose flour, or
right.
a lot of,
Everything.
yeah.
Everything.
So
This is the impact of capitalism, to be
right.
honest, and overconsumption. Capitalism leading to overconsumption. Whenever I actually want to eat something, I'll just make myself conscious. Over like capitalism is leading to overconsumption. I have to be really, really creative.
My God. This is what I think, this is what Delhi University does to a person. Also social sciences to a certain extent. It makes you so aware and so conscious about things that you think in a totally different manner. It just sometimes it gets too much. Even I do that.
Right,
I mean, I
right,
whenever I'm like my everyday choices and decisions, they're guided so much by this awareness. And
right.
I keep thinking, okay, am I I should not be buying this, I should not be eating this, I shouldn't be doing this, behaving in a certain manner. If I know, I can very much relate to you here. But we can have a totally different debate on capitalism, pros, cons, all of that, because this is a very controversial topic. And I've had lots of debates about this with my friends, and they don't always love my opinions. So I think we'll do that separately. We'll not record that. but
Amazing. Yeah,
but
we have to do it.
definitely done. But you know, so getting back to what you were saying, you were talking about your childhood, and then you spoke about how you, when you've been growing up, so how you felt attending college, and managing things, discovering the creative side of food, learning to be more careful about what you intake. So very, very interesting. I don't particularly have more questions, but I still don't want to end this chat. But considering time, I'll ask you, what are your future plans, and personally and professionally, what do you see, or what do you think of achieving or becoming in the next few years or months?
So if you ask about months, I think I want to polish myself in everything that I'm doing.
Hmm.
Like, even that I'm studying history, it's my last year of masters.
Okay.
I actually want to understand, that what I want to do further. Like, if I want to go for PhD in history, I have to understand, like, which particular area I want to pick up. Like, I am an ancient history student now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, so, and with that, I'm really interested in gender,
Hmm.
as sustainability,
Hmm.
and that actually leads me, sometimes to consider even doing international relations in masters.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very
sorry,
interesting.
masters in international relations.
Right, I get it.
So
I would definitely vouch for that. I mean, I loved that field, so I hope you do too. Yeah.
yeah, I think because it has, like, it's a field which is always emerging. It will never stop. It will never go out of trend. It's
Yeah.
always gonna be there. There are always gonna be debates that
Mm,
are gonna be trending, like
yes.
always.
It's
Like for
very dynamic. Yes.
right.
It's
It's
ever
like it has
evolving.
everything.
Yeah.
It has everything in it. And with that, I think for sports, I am really, really, like, I just know that my personal and professional life both are like impacted by, not impacted, influenced by sports.
Okay.
So for me, like, I don't want to think about anything else except
Okay.
achieving in sports.
Okay.
Like, for skating as well as cycling. Like, uh, setting apart nationals, there is Asian Games that's coming up,
Okay.
not the 2022 one,
Hmm.
because the trials have already been done for 2023, I think, or 2024. It's happening. It was supposed to, yeah, it's happening in 2022,
Okay.
but I didn't give trials because I wasn't prepared because I was on a break.
Yeah.
But I am definitely eyeing for Asian Games and Commonwealth Games for
Wow.
sure. But
Wow.
for Commonwealth Games, I'll have to go for cycling because skating is not there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also wondering the same thing, because roller skating is not there in a lot of games.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not there in Olympics. It's
yeah.
not there in common.
I don't know why. I don't know why though, because it's quite popular otherwise. I mean, I know a lot of people do roller skating,
This
but
is going to be another debate that we'll do it when we'll not record because everything is influenced by politics and who is dominating the politics. So
mm.
yeah, that's why.
Done. Now I have a entire list of what all we can discuss. That's what happens with some people who are very open, they're very opinionated, strong-headed people, so that's what you enjoy. So these conversations,
Yeah.
meaningful conversations, mostly, like whenever we talk, even both of us, we're discussing ideas. Like we recently had a meeting, we discuss ideas, and
Hmm.
it's generally about like each other's life updates. So it's very interesting, not like you other useless stuff. So I'm glad about that. Also, Rachita, I just recalled, we were speaking the other day, and you said, how COVID time has helped you realize a lot of things. You've discovered a lot of things about yourself, about life and the world. So would you quickly like to share a few reflections or epiphanies you've had, recently?
Definitely. Okay, so first some hard hit lessons, to be honest.
Okay.
Uh, like, you know, the lessons that I learned during my teenage years, but like due to skating,
Hmm.
were very different from what teenagers actually learn.
Right.
So I think I actually learned that not everyone is trustworthy, and not everyone will respect you and love you the way that you do, to be honest.
Mm.
And second thing that I learned at a very young age was don't expect from anyone other than yourself. Don't expect that someone's gonna help you, or someone's gonna maybe make anything for you, make anything easy for you, or spoon feed you. Like, I'm
Mm.
talking about, like, a larger picture.
Right.
And so it's you at the end of the day that's gonna matter. So
Mm.
just be very careful when you kind of choose people, and when you trust people. Not everyone is gonna be like you, to be honest. I have seen that, and I have
Like me?
discovered that. Yeah.
Really? Okay, how did this come in? But okay, thank you.
Because I was only able to think about you as an example.
Oh
That's
God.
why.
That
You
okay.
have been, like,
Okay.
because we have been really consistent. And
Right.
it's astonishingly really really like different and weird, but at the same point of time really kind of exhilarating, because I never thought that I would be always in contact with you when you were in Australia and I was in India. But we
I'm
were like
so glad
really,
about
really,
that. So glad.
yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time to understand a human being. And for me, I was like, that's what I was saying, that I am really naive
Mm.
and ingenious, because I always used to see everyone as good, but
Mm.
that doesn't mean that it's that the person is good for you, and that he won't he or she won't use you, or won't kind of make you, like, respect you the way you want to be respected.
Right, right.
So just don't always expect everything from anyone, and it's okay to lose expectations. But when you don't expect anything, it's really really better to make you realize that it's okay, because it was not me, it was someone else.
Mm.
Obviously, every human being has some expectations, and sometimes they break and sometimes they don't. But that's what it's called balance of life, to be honest. And
Very
yeah,
well.
that was one of the things that I realized, like, when I was 16 or 17. So
Very early on,
yeah, it
you
was very early.
learned some big lessons about life. Yes, I mean the point you said about not expecting from people and just expecting from yourself, and also understanding that at the end of the day it's just you for you. So that is something I also learned during college, not that early on. I've not been so enlightened, but did take time, but I've learned this, and it can't be more true. A lot of times in relationships, in careers, in
Right.
personal professional lives, everywhere, we tend to think that we've done so much for someone, or we have been nice with everyone, so maybe someone might, but it's actually just you. And that is why the idea of self love, about meditation, reflection, all of this
Yeah.
is emerging now, because people are understanding how important it is to invest in yourself, because
Hmm.
uh, yes, it's just you ultimately. So very very cool. I wish we could have discussed about this at length and spoken more, but I have to respect time, and I know our audience might not be able to bear us for longer. So thank you so much, Rachita, for speaking, and I just loved your thoughts, got to know you even better. And I hope you do some great things in life, and great doesn't always mean winning. Whatever you do, I know you will be good. And I wish you all the very best. I wish you strength for whatever you do. And I really hope that the audience enjoyed our conversation, enjoyed hearing your insights. And thank you to the audience, to everyone who took time out to listen to us. And in this era of 30 seconds videos and teasers and 5 minutes reels and all of that, we still have, if we value people like you who listen to long conversations, meaningful conversations like these for about an hour. So thank you for doing that, and I hope you got to carry away something with you, take away something with you. Please do spread the word about this chat show, and thank you so much. Thank you, Rachita.
Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you again.
Thank you, and we'll continue to have more conversations like these.
Definitely.
Thank you, everyone, and stay tuned. We'll be getting some more exciting guests, just like Rachita and our previous guests. So, thank you.